Welcome to my YouTube channel. We are going to learn how to hide sensitive tables or columns in your Power BI data models. Nobody knows that they exist before now. That is exactly what your object level security is designed for. Unlike row level security, which filters data within a table, object level security goes one step further. It allows you to restrict access to specific tables or columns in your data models. Imagine you have sales table. You decided to create a row level security for the North regional managers. When they open the report, they only see the North region rows. They don't see regions for South, West. We are not going to be dealing with row level security. Row level security is a very popular one. The less popular is object level security. We are going to be implementing this using two methods. We are going to be starting out with the Tabular Editor, which is an external tool. The second method we are going to be looking at, the TMDL view inside Power BI desktop. At the end of this video, you will know how to lock down sensitive data. Let's get started. I have created three separate tables. I have here my category region, sales, and profit. I also have another table for category, region, and sum of profit. And my third table I have for my orders ID. On my Tabular Editor, I'm not going to have this selected yet. I'm going to first of all switch over to my modeling view. I have manage roles selected. I'm quickly just going to click on new. So give it a title. I'm just going to say admin. I pressed enter. I give it another title. So restricted, and I'm just going to save this. So let me close. For you to test, simply come to view as. I can see admin and I can see restricted. How do you make sure that you install Tabular Editor? I'm just going to leave the link in the description below. I'm simply just going to switch browser so you can see Tabular Editor .com/download. Have your Tabular Editor 2 selected because it's open source and it is free. Tabular Editor 3 is licensed. When you have Tabular Editor 2 selected, it will refer you to a GitHub link. Simply go to Windows Installer, click on the first Tabular Editor. This Tabular Editor 2. Processes is pretty much easier. Install. I'm just going to leave the link in the description below. Head over to my external tool. I'm going to select my Tabular Editor, and you can see I have two rows which I created in the Power BI desktop, admin, and I have restricted. I'm just going to expand the table list. You can see the list of all the tables in our data models. You can see orders, you can see customers, products, locations, and you can see team. Either restrict the entire table itself or you can just restrict specific columns. In our case, I'm just going to restrict specific columns, which is the sales table and which is the profit table. I'm going to have the sales table selected, and you are going to come across different properties. We have basic, metadata, we have options. I'm just going to head over to translations, perspective, and security. When I have that selected, I'm going to expand. You can see object level security. I'm just going to have this expanded. We have admin, we have restricted. Now have to define what happens when a person have full access. Restricted selected, and I use the drop down. You see that I have three different values: default, none, and I have read. So given like maybe your senior manager in the organization wants to see your report, wants to see everything in the report, so it's going to remain at default. You have a junior team member, I'm just going to leave it at restricted. I'm going to have none selected. When that is selected, I'm just going to come to this drop down for files, use the drop down, and I'm just going to click on save. Let's head back to Power BI reports and test these functionalities. So I'm going to switch back to my report view. On my modeling menu, so this is my security ribbons, I'm just going to select my view as options, and I'm going to say restricted. I'm going to click on OK. Before now, these visuals were working perfectly fine. After the implementation of object level security, my visual have broken. You will see an error that says there's something is wrong with one or more visuals, and select either for see details or you can select fix this. Let's have this see details selected. Something is wrong with sales data, our column. This This was the column with restricted access. Let me X this out. If I click on this option for fix this would simply take out my sales table. So let's have this implemented. Let me click on fix this. You notice that my sales table has been removed. Now have category, region, and sum of profit. Likewise, when you want to restrict access to multiple columns. Another thing we're also going to say, okay, let me say stop viewing. Let me replace my sales table and let's say view as admin. Can see everything. This is switched to restricted and I click OK. My visual is broken. That's how to implement object level security using Tabular Editor. This is for sales column. Let's say I want to implement object level security for another column on my table. Let me switch over to my Tabular Editor. I have my profits column selected, just the same method. On restricted row, just use the drop down. I'm going to select none. Come back to my files. I'm just going to click on save. When that is done, switch over to Power BI. I'm just going to say view as restricted. I'm just going to click on OK. You notice that my profit and my sales column has been removed. See a pop-up here that says this field was deleted from the model and can't be used in this visual. You can also restrict access to the entire table in your model. Let's go ahead to implement that. Let me say stop viewing. I'm going to switch over to my Tabular Editor. Come to my table. I'm going to have my orders table selected. Just use the vertical scroll bar to my security measures. Use my drop down for object level security. Come to restricted and I can select none. I'll come to my files. I'm just going to click on save. Go ahead to test this to see if we can still see orders table. I'm going to switch back to my model view. X this out. View as restricted user, and you notice that I cannot see my orders table on my data spin. Go ahead to say I don't want to see my team table or my customer table. I can just say stop viewing, switch over to Tabular Editor, have my customers table selected, come to object level security, have restricted selected, use my drop down and I'm going to click on none. I'm going to save this parameters. Let's switch over to Power BI and see if this has been implemented. Still working on it. View as restricted user. I'm going to click on OK and you notice you cannot see customers, you cannot see the orders table. That is how to go about implementing object level security using Tabular Editor. We are going to see how to implement same step using our TMDL view in Power BI. First of all, I'm going to go to my modeling as well, manage rows, and I won't be using this. I'm just going to add new rows. I'm going to say, let's say TMDL admin, just to differentiate both of them. You can go ahead to delete this, close. Always verify that your two rows have been created. I have TMDL admin, TMDL user. I'm just going to click on cancel. Next thing we are going to do, I'm just going to switch over to my TMDL view. On my rows, I can see TMDL admin and I can also see TMDL user. I'm simply just going to drag TMDL user. I'm just going to place it here. We are just going to be writing a few lines of code. To go to the next line, you're just going to press Ctrl and your space on your laptop to bring you to the next line. So for my table permission, I'm going to give say orders. Entering the table name that I want to restrict permission. I can go ahead to define the column that I want to hide from my users. So I'm going to go ahead to say column permission. You notice that if I should follow this same line and I type column, it's going to underline and I will not see my column. That's why it's always advisable to Control and space bar to see italicized. These are the functionalities: annotation, extended property, member, model permission, table permission. For us to be able to use other functionalities, I'm just going to tap to say my column permission profit equals to none. When you use your Control and space bar, you see different functionalities. So I have three values here: default, none, and read. Basically asking how do you want to define this null value. Then I'm just going to click on apply. Let's go ahead to have this tested. Switch over to my report view. I'm going to say view as TMDL user. I'm just going to click on OK. Notice that the table which has my profits column is no longer appearing on our report, but this other table is still appearing. You can go ahead to restrict multiple columns in your table. Let's see how to implement this in our table. So switch over to our TMDL view, metadata permission. I'm going to set it to none. So we are always having 3 functionalities. So default means you see everything in this. So I'm just going to select none. I'm just going to update this, apply. Let's go and test visuals. Switch back here, view as TMDL user, click on OK, and you no longer see the other table that we have. You can go ahead to implement for team, product, location, customer. Let's implement for customer and see what we have. I'm going to select stop viewing, switch over to TMDL. I'm going to say table permission. Oh, it's customer. I'm just going to apply this. Let's switch over to our report view and have that tested. TMDL. You can no longer see customers. You can no longer see the other table. That's how to go about implementing object level security using TMDL with just a few lines of code. It's actually not difficult. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Push out content on Microsoft Fabric.